there is hope for the comic industry yet to not bog us down and throw in our face the message, the woke narratives, the overly political narratives, and so on and so forth, because a new challenger has appeared with the Rippaverse. What's up, everyone? It's me, Melanie Mac, here on my nerdy commentary channel, Melanie Mac Go Boom. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Let's just go ahead and dive right into the video. So, I don't know if you guys have heard of this. I'm sure you have, because it has been making waves. But the Rippaverse, okay? The Rippaverse. This started by Eric July. Some of you guys may know him from his Twitter account, or maybe for his work with Backwards Music, or just from his YouTube channel where he goes by Young Rippa. He has definitely made a huge impact in the entertainment culture especially, and for a lot of that being the fact that he does not subscribe to the woke narrative that is constantly being pushed on everybody. And this makes a lot of people mad, especially from the woke side, because he's really breaking their entire narrative in general. And one thing that we noticed with woke people and what they like to do is they like to take marginalized groups and victimize them. Okay? So in this case, we have a black man, Eric, who is not playing victim, who is not using his race to say, oh, feel sorry for me and support me because I'm a black man, because I need it, because I am oppressed, because I am a victim, because I can't keep up with the white people because of their privilege that I don't have. He doesn't subscribe to that narrative. Not once. Not once do you see in anything that he does and anything that he promotes, and in this case with his comic book, not once do you see him say, by the way, I'm black, support me because I'm black, because I need that, because I'm not, I can't do this without people victimizing me. Okay? And this makes a lot of woke people mad, because what the woke side likes to do is they like to victimize marginalized groups. They like to victimize black people, for example, women, for example, and I see this too. And one thing I can relate to with all of this is that it's not fun being treated like a victim. It's not fun to only have people want to support you because they feel sorry for you, because they feel like you don't have the same privileges that they do, which therefore, as someone who is a part of a marginalized group, makes you feel like they think they're better than you. And that's because they do. And whenever they are victimizing people in this way, what that does is it gives them power. When they keep us down, it gives them power, and by us constantly subscribing to their narrative and voting for the people who are pushing all of this and so on and so forth, because they don't want us to rise up and be strong and be independent and say, you know what, I don't need your help. I can make it on my own. I don't need people to feel sorry for me because of the way I was born, because of the color of my skin, because of my gender, and so on and so forth, whatever it may be, sexuality, anything like that. And that makes people mad. And because of that, which I'll go into here in a minute, we see Eric getting a ton of backlash, and we see woke people being flat out racist to him, because there is nothing more that woke people hate than seeing their victims rise up and show strength and show, hey, I don't need your narrative. I don't need your pity. I can accomplish anything I want to accomplish. In the United States of America, I'm an American, and anything I set my mind to, anything I work hard for, I can make it happen without people feeling sorry for me, and without being a victim, and without having a handout because of the way that I was born. Okay? And that makes them so mad. And so then they in turn act racist. People are using racist slurs and saying terrible things because they are so mad to see a black man succeeding with power and without being a victim. And you freaking love to see it. You love it. So here we have this comic, Isom. This is a part of the Rippaverse. Now, the Rippaverse here has their code of ethics. They talk about respecting customers, canon and continuity, and, sticking with things and staying consistent. And what I like about that is because we see with Marvel, we see with DC, we see stuff retconned, we see stuff shoehorned, we see canon changed. And you see this not only in comics, but in video games and things of that nature as well. You're seeing things change for the sake of, wait, let's shoehorn a part of our political agenda into this story. And in order to do that, we have to make changes to canon for whatever it may be. And so in this case, on the code of ethics, canon and continuity is a priority and a comprehensive timeline. Okay, so right now we do have the Isom comic, which I believe is 96 pages. And this is number 1, and this is the beginning of the Rippaverse. So basically what the story is, right here that you see, Avery Silman was once an entry-level hero known as Isom in the city of Florspark, Texas. Shortly after gaining his special abilities, a certain event had him hang up his suit, and now he stays on the outskirts of the city, living as a rancher. Avery's sister, Altana, gives him a call and wants him to visit an old friend by the name of Darren Fontano. Another family friend that was interning with Altana has gone missing, and she has heard that she was dealing with Darren. But Darren has much changed since he was hanging out with Avery when they were young. He's a cold-blooded shot caller and one of the most feared men in the city. This visit turns into one of the longest days in Avery's life. Around these parts, people call special beings accepts. And unfortunately for Avery, he has the luxury of running into some of them. The Alpha Core and Yaira have their own set of conflicts. A man built like a tank by the name of Santuan reappears, and he's had previous confrontation with Avery. So what happens with Avery and Darren's meeting? Who and where is the family friend? Just grab Isom number 1 and find out for yourself. Okay, and you have this campaign. I mean, the story is very fascinating. And this is, one of the sweet beauties of this story in general is that one thing that woke comic narratives and stuff like that do all the time, and one thing that is very, annoying, and you see Eric even speak out on this on his channel as well, is that they try to shoehorn characters just for the sake of it, almost for pandering points, rather than make it authentic. They want to throw it in your face that, oh, by the way, a woman, okay, let's replace this iconic franchise character with a woman, for example, or a person of a different race than what the main character originally was, and so on and so forth. When it's just for the sake of doing it, instead of giving women or giving different races and different sexualities, all that kind of stuff, instead of giving them organic new stories and letting them shine on their own, they're just cheapening everything just for the sake of, oh, look, we've got representation, but we're not actually going to put the work into it and make something great. We're just going to just replace something with it, and it's just lazy. There's no care behind it. And the beauty of it is that they call people like Eric or me, or especially the white guys who speak out on this stuff, and gosh, they get it pretty bad, because white men aren't allowed to have opinions on anything these days. But regardless, they give everybody, all of us, a hard time over speaking out against such things. And they will go so far as to say, oh, you're an ist, you're a phobe, you're this, you're that. Oh, you hate women. Or in my case, you're an internalized misogynist. Or in Eric's case, you're an internalized racist, or whatever it may be. Because we don't want to see, these shoehorn pandering narratives. We actually want to see organic stories. And so here you have a case of where, okay, they want to call us racist, for example, because seeing Captain America replaced with, a black guy just for the sake of it, they want to call us racist for that and act like, oh, you just hate black people. Y'all just hate black people. Well, this is interesting because here we have Eric, who's created a story with an amazing team of comic book veterans. Here is a story with the main protagonist being a black guy. Very prominent black characters here, but done organically in a way. You look at all this. Is it ever mentioned one time? By the way, he's black. By the way, he's a strong black guy. By the way, is it mentioned anywhere? Anywhere at all? Is it like no replacing of stuff? This is a new organic story. Is it thrown in your face? No, it's treated as normal because that's how it should be. We shouldn't be looking at women and black people as, whoa, no way, like we're some sort of circus freaks, like this is normal. And so this completely breaks the woke narrative, and this is doing better than what the woke people are claiming to be trying to do. And for everyone they want to call racist, look, they've supported this to $2.5 million. Okay? The support behind this has been astronomical. And the people backing this are people that the woke people call racist. Isn't that hilarious? So, yeah, this has made a ton of people mad. There's a lot of backlash going on right now because this does completely break their narrative and they don't like it, because there is nothing more that woke people want than to keep people down and keep people as victims so that they can control us. They want to control women. They want to control black people. They want to control everybody they can. And they're picking the minority type groups or groups that aren't as commonly in, high power positions, like in our government and so on and so forth. Not as common as, because let's face it, it is predominantly white men. And so they want to make everything about race, or they want to make everything about gender. And so they're picking the smaller groups to victimize, because they think that, okay, well, if they can collectively make all of us victims, then we will eventually outnumber. And that's what they want to do. It's all about control, and it's all about wanting to outnumber treat every white guy as the enemy, and unless they're allies, and allies who feel guilty for being white, which is just stupid. So yeah, that's what they try to do. And this completely breaks the narrative when it's like, hey, when, a black guy in this case is like, hey, nothing's stopping me from making my own universe. Why don't I do it? And look what he's done. Very successful, extremely successful campaign, extremely successful YouTube channel, all this stuff. And so it just really, and all the people supporting, which all these people who are the woke people call racist, it breaks their narrative and it proves them wrong, and it exposes their true intention, which is to victimize people so that they can control us. Okay? So you just love to see this going on, and you love to see the whole narrative, the whole message be exposed for what it truly is. And hopefully more people will wake up and smell the roses regarding this. So some of the backlash, I mean, I ain't even going to go into all of it. Some of it is just absolutely terrible, absolutely racist, absolutely this and that. So the comic is, to my knowledge, apolitical, so it's not going to try to shove a narrative in our face or like a political view in our faces. But some people are like fighting against this or trying to expose this and saying, so he promised his audience he wasn't going to take the politics out of comics. He then tricked them into backing a Christian superhero comic named after the largest ministry school in the world. Congratulations, man. The grift of the century. And here you go. He has, zoomed in to show the cross on there, all that kind of stuff. And this makes absolutely zero sense to me, and it's a complete reach, because there is a difference between, if you look at a lot of the comics that, Marvel and DC and stuff that they're doing right now, where they're forcing climate change, they're forcing this, that, and the other, they're throwing stuff in your face constantly and trying to force that message, and that is the most important part, and their political agenda and all that, to where it's just like, we can't just read about superheroes being superheroes anymore. Everything's got to be about their sexuality or, their gender or their race or this or that. And it's all just thrown in your face more than just a good story. But there's a difference between that versus making a character is still allowed to have, a religion. A character is still allowed to have a sexuality or this or that or the other. They're still allowed. I mean, come on, when you're writing about characters, these are important facets of these characters. And so in this case, this character seemingly with the cross there is Christian. That's a part of his character and a part of who he is. And you think when you flesh out a character, that's part of it. And that's part of humans in general. Some people are Christian, some people aren't, some people are different religions, and you can still make a character who ascribes to a religion or a lifestyle or this, that, or the other, without it meaning that it's shoving it in your face and that it's taking precedent over the entire story. So this is a ridiculous reach, and it's stupid. And so you're going to see a bunch of people just trying their best to find something, but they cannot, alas. But, I think this is amazing. I am extremely excited about this. I feel like, what Eric is doing with this and his team is really helping the entertainment industry as a whole. And whenever we see, this is why it's so important that we stop supporting things that we don't like. This whole woke narrative that is forced on us. When we stop supporting those things, we stop watching those movies, we stop buying those games, and we start putting our money into things that are what we want to see, which is good entertainment, then that's how we make the difference. And what Eric did here is just phenomenal and amazing and monumental for a guy who's not already deeply rooted in the industry, and who doesn't have like Hollywood budget, doesn't have like Hollywood backing and all this sort of thing, to be able to create this and to get the success that it has already gotten is just awe-inspiring. And, maybe since Marvel and DC are declining so much, maybe they can learn something from this. Maybe with Netflix, this, that, or the other, maybe they can all learn something from this when we stop supporting the crap and start supporting the good stuff. So we'll see what happens there. But anyway, a lot of people have asked me to bring back my verse of the day segment. One thing I haven't in a bit, because I don't want to get to, I've been finding that balance between, I do like to share my faith and stuff like that, but at the same time, I don't want to, I feel like if I were to make that the main thing or to put too much attention on that side of things, I don't want it to be forceful. And I also don't want it to be, if that's most of everything, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cultivate a channel of just like-minded Christians. And that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to reach everybody. And I can still, have positive influence with what I share with my faith and stuff like that. But I don't want to get to a point where, this is a Bible channel, this is a Christian channel, and Christian people watch it, and so it's that balance. And I think it's a huge part of, even if you look at it from the Christian side of things, is a huge part of reaching people is is still being intermingled. You obviously, and I could go on about this, but still it's a huge part of it. And so if I feel like I got to figure out that happy balance. And so I'm going to do that, but I'm not going to be spending a ton of time on it like I was before, because overall I want to reach everybody. I don't want to just have a Christian channel and only talk to Christians. Even though it's an important part of my life, I understand, this is a bigger, I want this channel to reach more people than just Christians. And then for those that this will influence, and people who maybe aren't Christians and want to learn more and all that, you can go on my Discord server. We have a weekly prayer meeting, and prayer requests and all that sort of things. People who want to get really involved in that, and people who don't, hey, I respect it. So I'm not going to bash people over the head with it. But anyway, I picked Hebrews 10:26 because I know in some of my past videos I've been balancing and trying to figure out that balance between, okay, we are saved by grace because Jesus died on the cross, because none of us are righteous. But at the same time, can we keep living our lives and willingly sinning and willingly doing this, that, and the other? Just because, oh, well, Jesus died on the cross and I said I accepted the gift, so I'm good to go. And I stumbled on this verse and it was like, okay, this really answered my question. And it says, for if we go on sinning deliberately after receiving the knowledge of the truth, there no longer remains a sacrifice for sins. So that doesn't mean that we're never going to mess up, but actively, if we are actively choosing to continue to live in sin and to not, try to depart from that, then no, we haven't truly accepted Jesus's gift. And so, yeah, that's just where it is. So we're not righteous on our own, but once you've accepted the gift of Jesus Christ, you still got to try. You still got to try to be, you still got to try to follow God's commandments. So anyway, there's that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is another long video, just like how I used to do. I've been shortening them, but this is another long one because I had a lot to say today. But thank you all so much for hanging out. I'll catch you next time. And in the meantime, go boom.